Okay, Sistas fans, this is a worst case scenario. I was responding to some tweets. I posted a picture from the trailer for next week where we see Gary at the penthouse, and I'm like, here we go again. And then I thought about it because I was thinking about the conversation Robin was not Robin, but Robin was the subject of discussion between Hayden and Gary at some bar. And, Hayden was saying that, oh, yeah, Robin ain't some big hot shot he, makes himself out to be. He's up to his, eyeballs and, I forgot what he said. Legislatives or something like that. Leverages or something. Basically at a point where Robin is flaunting it like he's all that. He has all this money. He has all this power. But in reality, he really doesn't. But their plan is to slowly take away the power from Robin and, cause him to lose control of the company. And I was thinking to myself, it would be really messed up, and I hope this doesn't happen. What if Andi is the one at the end of the show, or the end? I'm just kind of speaking ahead, but let's say by the end of the series, or by the time this mess in general ends, Andi is the one who's in control of the law firm. I would hate that. But it would be interesting continuity because in season 1, after taking Andi to that isolated house in the country and whatnot, and Gary was like, well, you can start your own law firm and all in your practice and whatnot. I mean, I thought about it, and I remember when he bought the penthouse, I'm like, what else can Gary do? Buy her a castle or something? And I thought, well, the law firm might be interesting because of the fact that he knows that Andi values her work and she doesn't want to just give up her career to be a stay-at-home mom and wife. So what if he bought the law firm for her? Which there are so many reasons why that would be a horrible idea. But I feel like Andi would go along with it anyway. And I want to say, and because I feel what I feel, what I felt during the haves and the have-nots when Candace all of a sudden was the love of the president-elect Charles. And I'm like, this woman does not deserve to be in the White House. This woman does not deserve a happily ever after. I know some people in the comments do, Jeremy, there have been worse women or people in general in the White House than Candace Young. But in any case, Andi doesn't deserve that. She does not deserve that whatsoever. I mean, what kind of message is that sending? But I guess this show is really more about, I guess you could say, highlighting certain areas of modern dating that is a common thing. People being materialistic, possessive. There hasn't been one thing that Gary has given Andi that hasn't been hasn't been warped into some form of manipulation or control. Bought her the car. What happened? Followed by some hired police who were fake in order to deliver a musical telegram. The penthouse purchased from an angle where he can watch it from his office with a telescope. I mean, even going so far as the engagement ring. Didn't she put it on and she couldn't get it off because it gripped her finger? And after calling the makers of the ring or whatever, she found out that it's one of those rings where you put it on, it gets tighter the longer you have it on or something like that. Basically, I'm like, well, damn, this dude squeezed you to the point of bruising your ribs. And in this situation with the ring, it could cut circulation off from your finger. This dude is a freaking manipulator, but she keeps falling for it. I don't feel bad for Andi. I don't feel bad for Aaron constantly chasing someone who doesn't want you. Same with Preston and Danny. And with Andi, it's she's still... Gary chasing Andi, fine. That's his choice. But Andi allowing it to happen, she always gives him chances and shit, knowing he's not going to change. What's the point? But Gary will be like, you tried to rub elbows with the guy who owned the company, but I did one better. I gave the company to you. And good and hell well, if Gary said so, he can burn down that little playhouse whenever he wanted. Let's say, for example, for whatever reason, Gary gets to the point where he's tired of Andi working because, baby, your work is interfering with our relationship, like we haven't spent a lot of time together because you're always working. Well, Gary, I'm running an entire law firm. I mean, yeah, I have people who work for me and everything, but I still need to go to meetings. I still need to do this. I still need to do that. I feel like Gary would get to a point where he would probably try to sabotage the law firm. Now, I want to do a major throwback here. The game season 4, when Tinka Sumter was a character on there, I think her name was Jenna or something. She was like a model, and she was also in rehab like Malik. Wait, was Malik in rehab? Yeah. And basically, he like put on a fake photo shoot in order to spend time with her because she was mad because she found out that he had been sleeping with the owner of the football team's wife, portrayed by Megan Good. And she was distraught after that because it's like, you did all this to make a fool out of me. This is my profession, and you just make a joke. And then she went back to going to drugs after the whole photo shoot situation. I wondered the same thing is going to happen here, where Gary gives Andi that's the thing. He always gives her the illusion that she has some control, but in reality, he's manipulating her every step of the way, whether she knows it or not. And to be honest, I feel like it's at a point where, kind of like with Batman and Joker, it's like, I think Superman and other heroes have called him out. It's like, yo, you don't want to kill the Joker, not because of your moral code and crap. You don't want to kill him because that would mean the end of the sick little game you two have going on. I'm not calling them lovers or anything. Some comic book adaptations do, but I'm not doing that here. I'm only saying in general, like, it's a cycle you don't want to end. Kind of like what Karen is at. So I feel like Andi knows better, but she just goes with the flow just because, it's fun for her until she gets hurt. But even then, she cries about it. Then she's right back to doing what she was doing beforehand. Now, I think Andi getting the law firm would be awful for so many reasons because she doesn't deserve it at all. But I think I could see it getting to this point if they do succeed with usurping power from Robin, throwing him out of the driver's seat, and then Gary decides to give it to her. I mean, yes, he did say there were investors already looking to buy the company once Robin falls, but with Gary being Gary, he would probably pull a stunt like that to give it to Andi. But let me know what you think. Do you think at some point, whether it be Gary influenced or some other forces may be, at the end of the series or at some point down the road, Andi might be in control of the law firm? If so, what are your thoughts on it? You've heard my thoughts. I think that's a bad idea. But aside from that, let me know your thoughts below in the comment section. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.